TKO here, and I'm a self love specialist from TanyaTKO.com. I help you learn how to love yourselves and one another. On this channel, we typically use viral video topics as teachable moments for what self love or self abuse looks like in your own life. And we just came off of a broadcast where we spent almost 2 hours doing a tarot reading on Black men in the diaspora, as well as in Africa, Black men as a conglomerate. And it was a very enlightening conversation. Right now, we have Willa on the line. So, hi, Willa. We are back live. So, talk to
Great.
me. What are your thoughts about the broadcast that we just came off of?
I thought it was great, Tanya, but my question, I had a question. I guess she wasn't able to answer it, but here it goes. My son was killed by a black man almost 20 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and it has been very hard for me to like trust men, period, and
Mm-hmm.
just to deal with a black man. It's just been very difficult for me, and I've been trying to trying to get over it, but it's very difficult.
So you're calling in, tell me what it is that you're seeking right now.
I'm just trying to find some peace, far as being able to love black men like I should. It's
Okay.
like my last past relationships also has been, abusive, horrible, and I just trying to give it the benefit of the doubt and trying to just love people, period. But it's very hard. Because my son, he was only 15 years old when he got killed by a grown black man.
Okay.
And this black man right now is walking the street free and clear. And it just bothers me very much.
Yeah, well,
And
you
it's
know
very
what?
hard.
He's not actually free and clear because there's a karmic debt that people cannot escape. When he incarnates
Mhm.
again, he's going to have to deal with the things that took place in this incarnation. You know,
Mhm.
I my mother died when I was 19, and
Mhm.
death is very difficult. I personally feel that before I incarnated, like, if it wasn't for my mother dying, you wouldn't be on the phone with me right now. I
Mhm.
I I was not Tanya TKO until I had my own near death experience. And part of the reason that I started making videos and I became the big sister of the internet was
Mhm.
because of my own mother leaving this earth early. However, I personally feel that when she came into this lifetime, that she chose the circumstances of being a woman who would die young. And I believe that I, as a soul, chose the circumstances of coming into a life whose mother would die young. And I think that we all chose each other. I believe my brothers chose me. I believe my sisters chose me. I believe that it was meant for me to become who it is that I turned out to be in this life. You are a Nubian
Mhm.
womb holder, and your circumstances in this life are already mountainous. What is it that you are going to do with the circumstances that you have been given? Do you sink or do you swim? And that is the choice for you to make for the ascension of your own soul. You've got to make the decision about whether or not you are going to let the circumstances of your son's death cripple you, or will you let it become the wind beneath your wings? So you have to make that decision.
Yes, ma'am. I understand, Tanya, and I have been. I'm sorry. I have
No,
been
let it out.
trying.
Let it out.
I have been trying, Tanya, and
Mhm.
right now, my situation right now, I'm in need of a kidney,
Mhm.
and it's just it feels so overwhelming to me. It's
Mhm.
just that I tried to forgive this guy, but it's just so hard. It's just so hard. It's like it's very hard. It's
Well,
very hard. And I listen to you, and you give me so much strength to
mhm,
power on with myself. And I want
mhm.
to thank you for that because I love this show.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. You know, Willa, I'm so happy that you called in because this is an important phone call. I think it's important for you to be able to emote and express what you're going through. And it's difficult. You know, the circumstances that we come into, the circumstances that unfold in our lives, they're so real and so you feel them with every fiber of your being. Like this
Yes,
like this like
ma'am.
being human is no joke. You feel the loss and you feel the tragedy. It's like, in theory we can theorize that, we come into these existences and, we're trafficked as children and we learn to rise onto the other side of that. But during the time of the trafficking, it's painful. You're being harmed and hurt and all of those other things. When you have a person whom you love, especially a child, leave this
Yes,
earth, it's devastating.
yes, it is
However, for
very.
yourself and your life, you have got to do what it is that you need to do to reclaim your life, because that anger will make you sick. That anger will riddle your body with dis-ease. That the guilt, the pain, the hatred, the torment, the turmoil, those things will eat you alive on the inside. And what is it that you were willing to do to live out the rest of your life in the most vibrant way possible? Or will you just be like my grandmother, who lived and suffered and suffered and suffered and then died, and that the death was the release from this tumultuous existence? Or will you find a way? It's Nobody said it would be easy, but we did say it would be worth it.
Yes, you're absolutely correct, and I'm definitely trying to find a way to to deal with this. And like I said, August 5th, it'll be 20 years since he been killed, and right now I'm just trying to deal with myself far as health wise, and maybe one day get a kidney transplant. And
What is the number one thing that bothers you about your son's death? Like, what keeps rotating around in your mind? What keeps coming up for
is
you?
that um is that I wish I could have saved him, Tanya. I was a single mom. I worked two jobs for most of my life, just trying to take care of my child, and I I was I wasn't always there for him because I worked so much.
Okay, so you're
And
beating yourself up about not having been there and wishing that you could have saved him.
yes, ma'am. I
What
it's I
what
tried
if
to when
what
he was
if
alive. I tried to explain to him that, I have to work, I have to take care of you, I have to keep this apartment, I have to put food on the table. And my son, he just never understood that. He just wanted me to be around more.
okay, have you gotten therapy at all?
No, ma'am.
What
Well,
is it what is it that has
before he
stopped you?
passed,
Mhm.
we was in therapy for like maybe 2 sessions or 3 sessions before passed away. But after that, after he passed, I never got any therapy.
Okay,
No.
and so what is it that for 20 years has stopped you from going to therapy? Because you know therapy exists, you know that it's there. What has stopped you?
I don't know, just being afraid and just saying that, I don't want to share it with anybody because a lot of people that know me, I don't talk about it unless somebody asks me questions about what
Mm-hmm.
happened. But far as I've been just trying to bury it or keep it hidden or just being ashamed that
Yeah,
being ashamed to
we talked
talk about it.
we talked about we talked about black men not
Mhm.
being ready to be who it is that they need to be to show up in the ways that they need to for black women. So spiritually, they're not ready to evolve, to shift, to change, to be able to meet black women where we are, right? Because
Right.
there's a certain amount of work that needs to be done. So they stay in denial because they don't want to create the shift. Is it possible that there's a part of you that knows that if you go to therapy, you will heal, and that your pain is a way of you feeling that you are honoring him by beating yourself up?
Yes, you're correct. Yes. I know I
Okay.
need therapy, Miss Tanya. I know I do. I don't know. It's
Okay.
just,
Well, you know what? We also talked in that reading. See, the thing is when we're talking about other people, it's easy
mhm,
to forget how these things apply to us. This is why I tell people don't analyze me. Listen to the stories that I tell to analyze
mhm,
yourself, right? So you
right.
know that therapy will help you heal. You know that it will help you be able to get onto the other side of it. But you stay in this space, in the pain, making yourself suffer because on some level you feel that that suffering is what connects you to really truly feeling sorry enough, or that the pain is something that connects you to beating yourself up connects you to how wrong it was for your son to die. And so you beat yourself up and you beat yourself up. And we talked about black men, how much lower they're going to have to get in order to make a shift and a change. But for you, now you need a kidney. You've been in multiple abusive relationships. You are tormented each day. How much more suffering do you think you need to face for it to be enough? Is your life not worth living? Do you feel that living your life is going to be a slight to your son? Like you have been able to find happiness after his death. Do you think that that's disrespectful to his death?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
I know deep down inside my son wants me to be happy and to
Okay.
be able to live my life in some type of peace.
Do you have
But
other
it's like
children?
like I'm sorry.
Do you have other children?
No, ma'am. He was
Okay.
my only child.
Okay. So you decided not to have any children after him, or you were not able to have children?
No, I just decided not to have any more children because I was only 19 when I had him.
Okay.
And right now I'm 55 years old now.
Okay.
But
So how much more?
I do have a grandson.
Okay.
My son had a son before he passed. I have a
How?
grandson. Hmm.
He was only 15. Wow, I was not
I
expecting
know.
that.
I know. He had the son. I'm gonna say around 13.
Oh
Had
my
to be about
goodness.
13,
Okay.
because his son, my grandson, right now is 21 years old.
Oh
He's
wow.
21.
Okay. Okay. So let me ask you this question, right? When do
Hmm.
you think that you would have suffered enough? When you have no kidney? When you are in pain, riddled, and unable to walk? When do you feel, at what point do you feel that enough suffering would be enough for you to truly prove how sorry you are that your son died? How much more suffering?
I know, Tanya. It's like when my kidneys started acting, going crazy, and I couldn't work anymore, couldn't do what I was doing, and I just felt really like just giving up. I was like, oh well, this. I said, I said after my son, I said I can't face nothing else worse than this. I felt after my son. Everything else is just just doesn't matter anymore. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Well, you know
trying
what?
to
I'm not surprised because you blame
mm,
working for having you not there when your son when your son was going through what it was he was going through that ultimately led chain of actions led to his death, right?
yes.
So then you made yourself sick enough so that then you weren't able to work. So the thing that you felt took you away from being there for your son. Now you no longer were able to do. So my question to you is, I need you to answer the question here and now. How much more suffering? When will you agree that you have suffered enough? What needs to happen in your life for you to agree that you have suffered enough?
For me to get better and know that my life is worth living
That's not the
and know that
question.
I
That's not
need
the
help.
question. That's not the question. The question,
Okay.
because you're taking yourself, we all know what it is that you need to do, but still there's a part of you that wants to
Mm,
suffer. The question is, when
mm.
will you know that you've suffered enough? Is it when you're laying in a bathtub with your kidney sliced out of you and you're in an icy tub? Will that be it? When will you know that you've suffered enough? What needs to take place for you to say, okay, I have truly shown through my suffering that I am sorry? When will you know? What will it take?
I'm gonna tell you what it took, what it's taken. A few months ago, no, over a year ago, I became homeless for a couple of months, and
Okay.
after that, I was like, I know that's it. I have to thank God now. I do have an apartment now, but I've never
Okay.
been in that position.
However, but listen, you have not decided to end your suffering. So apparently you have not gone down far enough. I need to know what you're going to need, because you know how when a woman makes a man prove that he's sorry, you have some idea in your mind of what you need. Do you need to see tears from him? Do you need to see him on his knees? What is it? I need to know for your life. When will you know that you have suffered enough to prove that you are quote unquote sorry through your suffering? When will you know? You were already homeless. Now you need a kidney, and you still haven't gone to get therapy. You still haven't gone to take the actions that you need to actually rise up, which means that you don't feel that you have reached your pinnacle of suffering. So how much more do you feel that you need to suffer? What does that look like? You've allowed yourself to be
Wow.
beat up. You've allowed yourself to become homeless. You've allowed your job to be taken away. Now your health is failing. What does it look like for you to say, you know what, Willa, we've suffered
Mm.
enough? What will it look like?
Wow. It's like wow. I I I'm in so much pain and I suffer so much. It's like I'm used to I'm used to it, Tanya. It's like
Mm-hmm.
what else? It's like what else? What else gonna happen? What else
Right. And so
what
when are
else
you
gonna
going to
happen?
listen? This phone call that you made here tonight is a life-changing phone call, and I'm glad that you reached out because you have the opportunity right now to make the decision of whether or not you are going to go onto the path, because you're young. You're only 50 something. This is the 50 is the new 40. You know that. You are young.
Yes, ma'am.
However, you are using your suffering to enter into an early grave. Tonight,
Wow.
you have the opportunity to say enough is enough right here and now.
You absolutely right. You absolutely correct. And I promise you, I'm gonna get some counseling.
Okay.
I'm
All
I'm
right.
going to.
Listen. All right.
Thank you.
All
Thank you so
right.
much.
Absolutely. And you need to follow up with us. Today is 7/16. follow up with us on 7/21, 1 week from today. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you so much. We love you, Willa. Thank you.
I love you too. Thank you, guys. Bye
Yay.
bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So I want you all to remember that our emotions become habits. We become addicted to the chemicals that are released by our emotions each day. And so creating a change in your daily emotions is going to be difficult, but you have to be resolved to the change. You're on the air live with Tanya. What's your name?
Hello, Bernadette.
Hey, Bernie.
Hi. Oh, I
Hi.
wasn't expecting you to. That caught me off guard.
Okay, well, you're on the
I
air
was
now. So we're talking about the Black Man Tarot reading that we just did.
right, and I'm actually driving outside because I got into an argument with he was my boyfriend, but we broke up, and I let him out the car, and now I've been driving for like 2 hours now. Uh, I don't know.
Okay.
I feel so bad. It's dark here, and he was verbally abusing me, so that's why I let him out the car. And now I feel bad, and I'm out here 2 hours, almost three, looking around.
To find him?
Yes,
How do you know he hasn't gone back to the house?
because I went to his house, and they said he hasn't been there, he hasn't called, and they can't even find him.
Well, what is it that you need from us this evening?
You said what?
What is it that you need from us this evening?
I just want to know if I should go home.
Is he physically abusive with you as well?
You said what?
Is he physically abusive with you as well?
Yes, like the relationship is really bad. And he tell me he want to be with me. One day he don't want to be with me, and when I say I have enough and I don't want to be with you, it's like everything is good, and then days later it's bad.
Okay, does he have the ability to get into your home?
No.
Okay,
Oh,
is there somebody else that you can stay with tonight?
no.
Where are you located?
I live in Pennsylvania in Lewisburg.
Oh, okay. So the hotels are cheap out there. Can you go and stay at a cheap hotel tonight?
That's what I'm gonna go do because
Okay.
even though I'm out here looking for him, I know it's gonna still end up bad for me.
End up bad for you in what way?
Still verbally abusing, and I don't know what to expect.
Yeah. So,
Uh,
listen, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Bernadette, violent
mm,
relationships with men are not a joke, especially if you're a black woman. Every 19 hours, a black woman is murdered by a black man. Not
mm,
only that, when the most dangerous time for a woman in an abusive relationship is when she has decided to end the relationship. So you need to
yes,
take this very seriously. You need to, have you called the domestic violence shelter yet?
no, because I was just in a relationship like that, and I was in a shelter for 3 years with my son, and I finally got my own place. I've been here for a year, and he came, and I just I, I need to know, like, the first guy I see is not the guy. Like,
Have you gotten any
I
type
just
of
want
therapy?
no.
Exactly. So if your patterns of picking a partner, because like I was on a phone call with a man who was passive aggressive and low key showed the early warning signs of an abusive person. And I was on that phone call and I cussed this man out. I cussed him down to the ground, right? There were people who heard that broadcast who said, I really liked him. Why did you curse him out? Right?
Because they
Because to
understand.
them, they saw his behavior and they thought, and his behavior seemed attractive to them. He was talking very low, but his energy and the way that he posited on the phone was one that I identified as abusive. And there were other people who have been through it who could peep that he was low key abusive, right? But there were women in my comments, even to this day, that are like, Tanya, you were so wrong. That guy was so nice. What's his information? I like him. So my thing is, there are going to be things that men are going to do, abusive men, that you're going to think is normal, that you're going to think is endearing, that you're going to think is love. And so you have got to break the patterns inside of you that accept that into your life. You have got to go to
Right.
therapy. You have got to create a shift on the inside. And you've got to get out of the situation that you're in without any further harm coming to you.
Right.
Because, yes, so you need to take this very seriously because, Bernadette, let me tell you something. We do not know how to get in touch with you. If something happens to
Right.
you, we will not know. So you need to keep yourself safe for you. This is a self-love issue here. This is a self-love issue. Listen, how far are you from a hotel right now? Because people are saying that you're not going to get a room. How far are you from a hotel? Because I need you to get a room and I need you to call us back when you get the room.
I'm still driving. I don't even honestly know where I'm at. I just kept driving straight.
Listen, if you find him, you said it's going to turn out bad for you. Why are you driving towards something that's
Oh,
going to
I'm
turn
not,
out bad?
because my conscience making sure that he home. I don't know why I care. I don't.
Oh, well, look, this is something that you have to deal with inside of you. I can't do it for you.
I know.
Like I remember when I was at the gym in my 20s and I was like, well, why can't somebody else just do these crunches and I just have to and I get the six pack? It doesn't work like that. You have to do your own internal work. Did he feel guilty when he was hitting you?
No. Or when he speak down on me, no.
All right, then
It's
you put him
always
out.
my fault.
Okay.
Always my fault.
And you know what? You need to figure out, listen, if you meet up with him tonight, it's not going to be a good situation for you, either verbally or physically. You've already ended the relationship with this man. You two were still in the car together. Why? And he was verbally
Yeah.
abused. Huh?
'Cause he came to my house last night, said he wanted to work things out. Today we was on our way to the lake. I kicked him out my car because I couldn't take it. I told him I was going to call the cops. So he got out my car, and
Call the
it's
cops because
it's
of
really
what?
dark, huh?
Call the cops because of what? The verbal
Because he
abuse?
wouldn't
Oh,
get
because
out
he
my
wouldn't.
car, and he
Okay.
kept hitting my car, and I'm like, he getting upset. I was getting scared. So it's really pitch black here, and I don't. He's a grown man.
Let me
I
ask
mean,
you
but
a question. Let me ask you a question. When he hits you, it doesn't hurt?
yes, it
Okay, does it hurt you less than it hurts other people?
hurts me more.
Okay, because I'm confused as to why you're looking for him right now. Because I don't know if you maybe have a higher threshold for pain or if there's a part of you that wants to self-abuse through him
No,
harming you.
I just want to make sure that he gets home because he has like the phone. His phone died, and like I said, it's pitch black here. It's nothing but all road and no night light.
Well, you
That's
know
why.
what? Listen, you said you're by a lake, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know if do you want to file a missing persons report? Do you need to call his family and tell his family to go out there? I don't know what it
They
is that
already.
you, huh?
So I'm. They already know. He a grown man, and I need to take care of me. Like he's a grown man. You're
You said
right.
he was punching your car, right?
Yeah. Like he was punching the inside, like hitting the inside
Yeah,
of the
let
car
me
again.
ask you a question. How would you feel, right? If you saw me, if you saw me inside of a car with a man who was saying the things to me that he was saying to you? How would you feel if you saw me sitting there during that? How would you
I
feel?
will I will feel bad, and I will be saying she deserves so much better. Why is she dealing with that?
Okay. If you saw me, if I was on live video and there was a man inside of my car punching the inside of my car the same way that he was punching the inside of your car, how would you feel?
Something wrong.
Okay.
I,
Why is it that you don't feel that for yourself?
I do. It's just a tug of war. It's my heart. I don't.
Go to a hotel, go sleep. Listen, we talked about this on the tarot reading. How much of the tarot reading did you see?
This is my first. You popped up on my Facebook. It's my first episode.
Oh, so you don't even know who I am.
No.
Oh, I guess it was
You,
just divine that you were able to get through, right?
right. Right.
So, so listen, right? Listen. He knew his phone was dying. He knew that he was far from home. He still made the choice to frighten or try to frighten you. Punching the
Right.
inside of the car using this type of violence is a threat that you're next.
Right.
He
That's
didn't
why.
he did not think about the consequences of his actions. He's a grown man. He's a grown
Right.
man. He decided to behave in scary behavior. That was the choice that he made. Listen, that was the choice he made. Actions have consequences. If we have to stop coddling our sons, we have to stop coddling these grown men.
Right.
Do you need money for a room?
No, I don't know.
How old are you?
I'm 29.
Do you all have children together?
No, I have a son, but not with him.
How old is your son?
7.
Where's your son tonight?
He's with his dad in Virginia because his dad is in the Navy. So we co-parent. And so right now he's there for the summer in Virginia.
If your son was treating a woman the way this man was treating you, how would you feel about that?
I think about that all the time,
Okay,
and
listen.
I
You
I don't
you
want my son to be nothing like that. And
you
I'm to be even raising him to be nothing like that. It makes me hypocritical because I'm accepting what I won't allow my son to do. I won't.
Okay, listen, you have got to call the domestic violence hotlines and you have got to find some therapy as it relates to domestic violence. They have online therapists now, so you have got to find a therapist. Are you going to call?
Yes, I
When are you
will.
going to call?
So this morning, well, this morning, as
Okay.
soon as it's open.
Okay. Because you need to get therapy. You need to create a difference because where is it that you first became accustomed to abuse? When was the first time you became
When
you
when I was 16 and I was on my own.
and so you became accustomed to abuse when you were 16. So you had never seen abuse before that.
No, I seen my mom in abusive relationships, and even as a child, like my mom, I guess because whatever she was going through, she would abuse me and my sister. So,
Okay. So there's a lot of healing that needs to take place. A lot. So
and
you
I never been to counseling. I never.
okay. Well, it's time. Oh, look. They have a 24/7 hotline.
Okay.
So that means that you can call them right now.
And that number is here in the comments.
You have your phone with you. All you have to do is just
Yeah.
Google domestic violence hotline. I can look it up, but
Okay.
if this is something that you want, you've got to. I'll look it up for the other
But
people. But you have a phone right in your hand. If you can find the number to
all right.
call me, you can find a number to call the domestic violence hotline, and I'll look it up. I believe it's like 233 safe or something like that. I'm gonna look it up. And you said that you're in Pennsylvania?
Yes.
That's so interesting. I just did a video the other day with the Blackburn Center, which is in Philadelphia, that helps abused women in Philly. So there's the National Domestic Violence Hotline will connect you, right? Will connect you with resources to be able to help you get counseling. The number is 800-799-SAFE. I'm going to put it up on the screen.
799 safe.
800-799-SAFE. That's the telephone number for the National Domestic Violence Hotline. So it's 800-799-7233. That's the number.
Yeah, I got it. I got
All
it.
right. So call that number and then call us back after. If you're not able to get through, just leave a text message, okay?
I will. Thank you
All
so
right.
much.
Thank you, Bernadette. Big hugs to you. Congratulations for reaching out. That was a very intuitive part of you that knows that you need this help right now, okay? All right. Thank you. All right. The telephone lines are open. You're on the air live with Tanya. What's your name?
Hello.
Hello? Yes. Hi.
Hi, my name is Sharaya. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Hi, Sharia.
I'm calling because you mentioned something earlier in your live stream that really resonated with me in terms of ascending into oneness.
Mm-hmm.
And my question is like, how can we get humanity as a whole to vibrate higher so that we can all ascend into oneness?
Well, each person is going to have to make an individual decision for their own incarnation about what it is that the choices that they're going to make. You can't make the choices for other people. Hence the reason why we split up into all of these different souls in the first place. So everybody has to make that decision for themselves, and the oneness feels really good, but it's also the very thing that we separated in the first place to not be, because we were all one at one point and we separated so that we could experience these lives as different people.
Right. So is the idea that we just keep incarnating until what?
Well, I guess until we slowly begin to wake up to see if we're going to make the changes that we need to, like all of this poverty and hunger and greed and
Mhm.
billionaires while people sleeping outside their buildings with no home, and some people starving to death because they got no food and all of that. These are the things that we have to wake up to as a society and be like, you know what, no more, no more. But we have to wake up. And anger is a necessary emotion because it's going to take
Mhm.
people getting angry enough to take action.
Right. And I'm seeing people in the chat saying everyone can't ascend, but maybe I'm not understanding it properly. Is the idea that none of us can ascend unless we all ascend, or is it like individual?
There
I
are
guess
so
that's what
one
I'm
so one of the
confused about.
things, so we come from one energy, right?
Mhm.
So we all of us together, we make up source energy. So there
Mhm.
is a part of us that is already ascended and has already been ascended. And there are parts of
Right.
us that continue to reincarnate and go along this journey in the human experience. However, there's
Mhm.
some people that choose not to reincarnate anymore. And sooner or later, we all will come back into the oneness.
Right. Okay. Thank you for that.
All right. Well, thank you so much for calling in. All right. The phone lines are open. Let's see how long we've been on. Okay, good. We have some time. 323-488-3149. The telephone number is right here, as you can see. So I appreciate each of you taking the time to reach out. There's so many self-love lessons that exist in what it is that we are talking about tonight. Somebody's saying there's no more incarnation. Please prove it. Prove that. You're on the air live with Tanya. What is your name?
What up? This is Kev.
Hey, Kev. How are you?
I am doing well. I hope you're doing well too. It's midnight over here, so I could say this Friday morning.
Oh, yes, it is. It's late. I can't wait to sleep tonight.
Same here. But in any case, I wanted to say that I have definitely been enjoying these tarot readings. I've been watching them from Blue Nola, because I saw that you were having a discussion with Cynthia G and Nyla and Woman Sphere about it, and also watching you do your own. I gave some really great insights from both of them. I don't know if I have time to really go into them, but overall, I found a whole lot of stuff just from me personally as a Black man through listening to them, and also just kind of gain some really good insights in the midst of the whole reading aspect. So I thought it was really good.
Oh, so what is your biggest takeaway?
Um, I know from like one of the things that I noticed from Blue Nola was how often the cards would jump out when mentioning certain things, particularly in discussions about white men or discussions about whiteness. There would be cards that would come out in the midst of the tarot reading. And typically I knew that that was like the card that Spirit was trying to, show or release during that time
Mm-hmm.
into, revealing certain things that, would be very urgent or considered to be the cautionary tale to what Black men are thinking and
Mm.
or showing to us. And then with your reading, I saw that you kind of mentioned a similar thing, but you kind of went more into detail, not just simply asking from the whole race aspect, but more specifically from the soul aspect of, the idea of, how we identify with Blackness and actually how the challenge that Blackness has in terms of how we engage with our soul.
Mm.
So I got it from those two different aspects.
Oh, wonderful. Well, thank you. We appreciate that. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, and I will call in tonight. I'm still going to be watching the rest of the live stream, but I
Thank
just
you. But
want
I
to let you
wanted
know
to
that
know, what are
I
you
support
going
what
to
you
do
do.
that's different? What are you going to change after these broadcasts? What has it inspired
Uh,
you into doing?
the first thing I plan to do is, you're not keeping your tarot reading live, correct?
I'm going to leave it
Are
up.
you keeping? Okay, because I'm really taking the opportunity to really listen to the tarot readings. I remember the one I would listen to with Blue Nola. There was some stuff that was resonating. So I was actually gaining some insight, especially from listening to the tarot readings. I saw
Mm-hmm.
some of myself in there. So I'm going to be taking some time to review the two videos and really gain some, introspection about that. I really like yours because it really took out the whole Black men type of thing and really just kind of dealt with the whole issue of just the soul, outside of the construct of just race and gender, even though race and gender is in there, of course. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what I'm going to be doing for the time being, and then just kind of building on from there.
Okay. Well, thank you for the follow-up. We appreciate that. Thank
You're welcome. Continue everything that you're doing, and I will continue to listen to the live stream. Have a wonderful night.
you. You too. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So the phone lines are open. 323-488-3149. We're going to take a few more phone calls and then we're going to wrap it up because it is late. You're on the air live with Tanya. What's your name?
Tanya TKO.
Yes. Hi. How can I help you?
Greetings. I was calling to speak on the tarot reading this evening.
Okay. Can you speak up a little bit? Your voice is really low, and so I'm not really sure if you're trolling or if you really meant to
No,
call
I'm
in.
not trolling at all. Can you hear me better now?
Okay. Go forward.
Can you hear me better now?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Um, hope I don't get in trouble for saying this. I thought your reading was really insightful. Um, I was a teacher for many years and a counselor. I think that we all need counseling. All Black people need
Yeah.
counseling.
Did we catch your name already? I need to.
No, I'm Babette.
I'm sorry. You said your name is Pat?
Babette.
Babette. Okay. All right. So
Yep.
go ahead, Babette. You said you were a teacher and counselor for many years, and you feel that we all need therapy, all Black people.
All Black people need therapy,
Mm-hmm.
really. And for some reason, we get very angry when we're told that. It just hits to the core some kind of way. But we all need that. We all need that healing. We all need that insight from someone that's not involved, someone that's not a relative, because relatives can also care too much and or not want the things that we want.
Okay.
Um,
So I need you to really hone in because we only have a few more moments left for the broadcast. So hone in on the point that you'd like to make this evening or early this morning.
Early this morning, I just want to agree with you. I know how difficult it is to try to help us along. Not that we're not willing to go, but it's a scary ride to take.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad that you're doing your best to, and your voice is out there. And I hope
Okay.
everyone is listening.
All right. Well, thank you so much for calling and giving your point of view. Thank
You're so welcome. You're so welcome.
you. All right. So I appreciate all of you calling in. The phone lines are open. We're going to take a few more phone calls and then we're going to jump out of here. 323-488-3149. I see some people being mean-spirited in the comments, and this is not, listen, I'm going to start putting people in timeout. And I just, because you know that your comments are coming up on the screen, which becomes a part of my broadcast forever because it's recorded on the screen. And if you're going to be putting up mean-spirited comments, you're going to need to go into timeout. This is I'm giving you your warning right now because this is too much. Watch yourself. You're on the air live with Tanya. What's your name?
Hey, Tanya, this is Siana. How are you?
Hi, Siana.
Yes.
Hi, Siana. So what is your comment?
I wanted to comment on the tarot reading. First of all, this is my very first tarot reading that I listened to. Growing up as a Christian, I was taught that, that it's evil and all those things, but I'm starting to open myself up to more ways of communicating with the divine, spirit. And I think that this is one of those ways. And I wanted to ask you a question because I know you had said reincarnating a lot. And I had a question about that, and it pertains to babies and how they are born in this earth. I'm trying to figure out how I can ask my question. So do you believe that when babies, for whatever reason, don't have the opportunity to make it into the earth the first time, they will be able to come back in another, not in another form because they would still be human form, but do you think they would have the opportunity to come back?
Yeah, for any woman who has ever been pregnant and miscarried, you know that you can feel the energy of your child alongside you as you're pregnant. And if you miscarry, you and the energy part ways. And I think that that's part of what's so painful about miscarrying, because you can feel the energy of this being that is alongside you during this journey. And I personally think that that is part of the journey. And I personally think that every soul that is meant to incarnate incarnates. And from the you have to do a past life regression, and you've got to do a pre-life ingression, or what, regression, pre-life, before you come in to this existence. I've done one for my own birth, right? And when I did the one for my birth, I was alongside my mother. I was not in the fetus. I was not in my body. I was alongside my mother. Like, I was alongside her in the kitchen while she was talking on the phone. And I could go through different parts where she was pregnant, and I was just like kind of hovering around her. And it wasn't until I came through the canal, because I still had all of my knowledge and all of my wisdom from past lives. And I remember that feeling of coming into the body and being like, I'm going to remember all of this. I'm going to remember. And then it was when I was coming out of the birth canal that my soul entered into the baby, myself. And then, then I could feel the things that a human would feel, the cold, and, the bright lights in the room. And also I could feel the knowledge slipping, like the information. Like, I was like, I'm going to hold on to it. I'm going to hold on to it. But as I entered into human form, I started to lose it and not be able to really hold on to all of the lessons. Plus, you enter into a body where you can't talk. You can only look at people and you can cry. And then it's in that being born into that body, that body where you can't even hold your own head up, that you then, and then that you feel the feelings of hunger and cold and discomfort, that you then get reacclimated to being human, and you get convinced, and you lose all of that information. You lose connection to it, because now at this point you got to get your butt wiped, and you got to stay warm enough, and you got to get fed, and then you get ingratiated into the human experience, right? And so and so it's we are conditioned to believe that we are human, but what we are is so much more than that. And how far our energy reaches out is so much bigger and broader than just this small human experience. We are very large. And if you ever think about some of the greatest moments in your life, like if you think about think of what was one of the greatest memories or greatest moments of your life?
Well, I've been going through a lot these past 2 weeks, so it's kind of hard for me to pull out the good, but I'm going to try. I guess one of the greatest moments of my life probably was being reunited with my grandmother after a long time. I had got separated from my grandmother because of a relationship my dad chose to be in. So
Right.
I think that was one of my
Okay, so
greatest
let's
moments as
think
a
about, I
child.
want you to imagine that moment, being reunited with your grandmother. What do you see? When you think about that moment, what do you see?
Her arms just open, holding me.
Okay, what else do you see?
I envision myself in her home, crying, tears, just
Okay.
just joy.
Okay, and when you imagine this scene, what perspective are you seeing it from? Do you see your face? Do you see the tears strolling down your cheeks?
No, I don't see me at all. I only see her. That's the what I see in my vision. It's just her face and her emotions, um, and just being being held by her.
Okay, you said that you saw yourself crying.
Saw her tears.
Okay. Okay, so you were not crying. It was her that was crying.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. And so what else do you see in this vision?
I just see me and her, and I know it wasn't just me and her, but in that moment, I just see just me and my, I call her my mom. So I just see me and my mom just
So
hugging and loving each
you
other.
see your arms wrapped around her?
Yeah,
You see
me
her arms
being
wrapped around
still
you?
young. Yeah.
Okay. And then so how much of your body do you see? You see yourself from head to toe?
No, only from like maybe head to waist. Like,
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
So the reason why I ask all of that is because when we think about, these really great moments of our lives, when we think about even horrible moments of our lives, when we imagine and think about the past, we see a perspective that it would be impossible for us to have seen because as humans, our eyes look out from front ways. So when you see
Mhm.
yourself hugging, you see yourself walking, you see the house, you see all of this stuff around, where is that observer energy coming from? Where did the vision, the view from the observer's point of view come from? And it is my theory that we are like all of our energy is not inside of our human bodies, and that there's a part of our energy, our higher self, that hovers around, and we can see all of these different events from that perspective because there's a part of us that is outside of the human eyes and capillaries and all of that other stuff that sees a greater portion of what exists all around.
Oh, I
Does
never
that
thought
make
about it
sense?
like that. Yeah, I hear you. It's a new perspective to take on. I never thought about it like that.
Yeah, you know what? I hear you. So you originally called in asking about a baby. Why is that?
Because I'm pregnant and I don't know what to do because I put myself stupidly in a situation that would turn out to be very similar to my upbringing. Why? I don't know. Um, so I just trying to justify what I'm about to do and just looking for guidance.
Well, you know what? I'm going to say this, right? The choice that you have to make is a choice that only you can make, right? You can confer with your higher self. You can go into meditation. You can envision your life in the future. You can go into a meditative state and envision what your life looks like. Is that is that the person that would result from this pregnancy in that life? Do you see that person in your life? Do you see that child? Do you see yourself growing up with that child? Do you see that for yourself? Or do you know deep down that you are going to make the decision that that child is not going to be in your life? When you think about your future, is that child there?
I'll do that. I need to find the answer, and I guess like you said, it's gonna have to come from within me. I can't try to figure
Let
it
me
out
take the
with
comments off of
others.
the screen because this young woman is in a state where what it is that the decision she needs to make is her decision and her decision alone. Everybody has a different point of view about when a fetus becomes a baby. And she has to make the decision for herself because you people in the comments who is saying whatever it is that you need to say, you are not in her life path. You're not going to be there. You don't know, your body is not going to be the one that goes through the changes either way. So she has to make that decision, and she has to figure out, because there are two different life paths for her. One life path is leading in one direction and one is leading in the other. Which is the life path that she feels she wants to enter into right now? I remember when I was young and I had to make decisions about where my life was going to go. I saw one direction going one way and one going the other. And I knew that I did not want that, so I went in this direction. And we all have to make those decisions. What I don't like is when people call up and they say, I don't want to go in this direction, but I'm continuing to take every step in action to go in that direction so that they can become victims of life and then blame life on themselves instead of being the creators of their life. This young lady is crafting the life that she wants, and she has to decide whether or not she wants the life that comes along with having this child in it, or if she wants the life that does not have the child in it. And that's her choice. It's as simple as that.
Thank you, Tanya. I really appreciate it. I I I see. It's funny you said that because I've been looking on my app every day, and I see every day this is happening, this is growing, this part of the mind, this part of the brain, and it hurts me, and I cry for my child because I know I could have chose a better parent, but I just wasn't thinking about them at the time. I was thinking about myself and being selfish and how I'm lonely and I'm young and I'm trying to figure it out and do it by myself. I live alone and I just was accepting anything that I could get. And if that meant that I had to share somebody, that I just had to get a piece of somebody, I was going to accept it because it was better than nothing. And now that I think about that and I think about how I've chosen that life for my child, I honestly am thinking more of them. Like, do I really want to put them through that? Do they really deserve that? Don't they deserve to have two parents in a house that love each other? Because right now, that's not what's going to happen. So I just honestly am thinking of them. And I know there's so much going on, and I don't know what's going to happen next, and I don't feel any type of security. So it's really not that much about me. It's more about what are they going to endure and have to suffer through, and how am I going to be able to get through that by myself.
Okay, how old are you? People want to know.
23.
Okay, so you're 23. Listen, I will not impose my point of view on you because at the end of the day, the decision that you have to make is yours. I congratulate you for calling in because I feel that there is a wiser, higher part of us that that reaches out, and there was a higher part of you that reached out to us on this call today. So thank you for listening to that internal wisdom, right?
Hmm.
I say meditate. And because listen, there are two directions that your life can go in now that you are tasked with this choice that you are to make. And you said that you're thinking about the child because you have a feeling that the child being born into this situation is not going to be good for the child, that the child will come into a situation of suffering with a father that really didn't care very much about you and has all of these different women, etc., right? So there's a part of you
But
that knows that bringing a child into this life will definitively be bad for the child, right? And there's a part of you that you said that you're a Christian, so I can imagine that there may be some sort of religious conflict.
yeah,
However, when you spoke earlier, you said that you were looking for some sort of comfort for the decision that you knew that you were going to make. And at the end of the day, this is your body only, but the thing is, you have to be comfortable with your decision. Because listen, when I was in high school, right, and we were all graduating and going to college, right, there were some girls that were pregnant as we were leaving for college. There was, because high school, you got the hot gals, and it was a time of people trying to find themselves, and some girls got pregnant, and I was like, ugh, Because, I was like, I'm going off to have my Black college experience, and I knew what it is that I wanted for my life. And some of the girls got pregnant, and I was like, ugh. And then Facebook, we all got onto Facebook years later, and now some of these ladies have big grown children. They found a way to make it work. But the difference is that there was an internal knowing inside of them that that was the decision that they wanted to make to bring forth that life into the world. There were other people who made choices not to bring forth life. And they are living, there are some people who made the choice not to bring forth life and they lived a life filled with guilt. There were other people who decided not to bring forth life and they lived a amazing, wonderful life, going off to make lots of money and travel and do the things that they wanted to do. And they had no regrets. So this is what I'm saying. Whatever decision it is that you make is a decision that you have to make yourself. And listen, I don't want to curse people out in the you know what? The next person in the comments that makes a comment, because listen, you all will notice every 28 days somebody's going to get cussed out on here. The next person who makes a comment trying to tell this young lady what she should do when the decision is not yours is getting blocked. Come forward, because I would like to block you. We haven't had a block party yet. And maybe the wonderful, vibrant music will cheer this young lady up. So please come forward. All right. So let's see. So listen, you said your name was Cecilia. So tell us again.
Siana.
Siana. Okay. So Siana, the decision is yours, and it sounds like you've made your decision and you know what you are more inclined to do, but are feeling apprehension about it, right? And I'll say this, right? One way or the other, you have to come to grips with your decision, because at the end of the day, your decision is going to affect your life plus the life of another person, right? And the thing about it is, which decision do you feel will lead to the outcome that you feel is most in line with what it is that you feel that your own individual soul and incarnating is calling for you in this lifetime? What do you feel? You have to answer those questions, because the last thing that you want is to be in a situation where you're like, damn it, I'm hot, sweaty, my child is crying, I'm gonna beat up the baby and all this other stuff. I wish I never did this. You don't want to be in that position. And you don't also want to be in a position where you're like, oh, what have I done? Now, why did I stop this from happening? And then go forward and then start, beating yourself up and engaging recklessly in attempting to get pregnant again because you were upset that you terminated. You know what I mean? So you have to make that decision. All right. So it looks like they're saying that somebody needs to have a block party. Let me see who it is, because I wasn't looking. I was concentrating on you. So let's see. Here we go. I found her. Hey! Well, Dina Jones got herself invited to the block party. Simple as that. Simple as that. All right. So, my dear, I hope that, did you feel any more clarity from this phone call?
Yes, Miss Tanya. Do you have a specific time that you recommend to meditate?
Each person is different. Some people enjoy meditating in the evening. Some people enjoy meditating in the morning. I say after you get off of this phone call, and I have a free MP3 on my website that will help take you into the meditative process. I am a certified clinical hypnotherapist. And so I have a, if you can download it for free, just go to tanyatko.com. go to the shop area. There's a coupon for you to get $9.99 off. It's right on that same page. And you can
Mhm.
download the Relax MP3 and listen to that. And I take you into hypnotherapeutic relaxation. And so that can be the beginning stages of going into meditation. Once you get down into a relaxed state, then you can just begin to think and figure out and think about the life that you want and the life that you truly envision for yourself.
Okay. I will do that. Thank you so much.
All right, we love you.
Thank you.
All right, have a good evening. Okay, so let's see where we are. Oh, we've gone over the hour. I don't know how we got there. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off the phone lines. It seems like every call that came through, my spirit is telling me there's just one more call that needs to come through. That's what spirit is telling me. And we have an apple that came in from Eber. She sends $25 and says that the reading was powerful. All right. Thank you. We're going to refresh and see. There's a call coming in. Let's see. You're on the air live with Tanya. What's your name?
Tiffany.
Hi, Tiffany. So talk to us. What is your comment this evening?
Yes. So, I was just calling. I wanted to know. Well, I caught some of the reading for the black men and how you were saying that they needed to kind of like, um, I guess, come to terms with what they need to do so that they can come up to, the standard or whatever. But I was just wondering, because it's hard, like, I'm going through like a weird situation now, because, okay, so for like 10 years, I was married, and we were trying to have a child, and it never happened, and I was told it wouldn't happen. And then he was murdered, and then after him, I got into a relationship with a person who never wanted children because he was raising his sister's triplets. And, I thought I couldn't have them, but then 3 years down the line, I did. I got pregnant and through the pregnancy, he blamed me for getting pregnant, I guess, because I would tell him I couldn't. And then we broke up, and he doesn't understand my hurt or why I feel the way I feel. Although he is involved with his child, he says things like he wants to be in a relationship, and I feel like I don't know if I can ever get back to the point where we were at due to like how it was when I was pregnant and things like that. And I don't know if I'm being too hard on him, or if because I've even told him, like, if you really want this, then we're gonna have to go in a different step, and you're gonna have to like marry me or not marry me, but you're gonna have to make it like this is what you actually want, because I felt like it was a comfortability thing, because throughout the whole time we were together, he could never tell me like, of a future. Like if I would say like, what do you want the next 3 years from us? And I don't know. So I don't know. Like it's been a year now since we've been split, but everyone, including my church, my family, everyone's pressuring me. Like I'm doing the wrong thing because we have a child together, and he's still there. He's here for his child, and he helps me and with stuff like, because I went blind when I was married. Back when I was married, I started going blind. So he's still very helpful with things, but I still feel like there's like a lot of hurt and then from the whole, like, it took him 8 months of my pregnancy for him to come around and accept that we were having a child. Like, even he went to every appointment, but he was upset. And when we found out what we were having,
like I got excited and I'm like, oh yeah, and I look at him and he's mad, so I kind of died down my excitement. It was like that type of situation and experience. So
Okay. Well, what is your gut telling you?
I have no clue because I never ever wanted to be a single mother, a baby mama. Um, in this situation, I was always adamant, like even when they were saying, it's this chance or that chance that you'll have a full term pregnancy or this and that. I was always like, well, I'm not gonna do it unless this, or I'm not gonna just be, in this situation like like this. But then when it comes to what I felt like, I can't just move past it because there was even a time where I would say we're gonna just sweep it under the rug, and we did that for like a long time. Any feelings, because I got tired of talking about it and arguing about things.
Yeah, well, you know what? I say therapy. So, how old is your child now?
He'll be 2 in October. I was in therapy. Um, she graduated me out. She told me that when I left him, everything changed and my aura and all this stuff. And after 6 months after I left him, she graduated me out of therapy.
Yeah, well, you know what? Your therapist is your tool for you to use for the things that you need assistance with. So if you need therapy, you find a therapist who is going to help you in the ways that you need help. Right now, you are
Mm.
facing a major decision where you're not sure what to do. And to me, it sounds like he was emotionally abusive, psychologically
Mhm.
distant, that you don't feel emotionally supported, that you don't feel emotionally safe, but you want him to marry you because you didn't want to be a baby mama. It doesn't really sound like you truly want to be with him. If you really truly wanted to be with him, you would have been with him. There wouldn't be a conflict. So the fact that you're questioning yourself and the fact that you are having this internal turmoil means that there's still some unhealed things. I mean, just because a person leaves their relationship doesn't mean that everything is healed. There's obviously something else going on where you're second guessing yourself because the people in your church and the people around you are telling you what it is that you need to do, but you're second guessing yourself.
Mhm. Yeah. Um. That's why I said I have no clue because it's so confusing. Because it's like
It's not that confusing.
I,
Listen, it's not
I
that confusing. You've made your decision. However, you're not comfortable with your decision for a series of other things. So you need to figure out what being a baby mama or a single mother, what that means to you and all of the stuff. Because first of all, you never thought that you could have children. Now you have this miracle, and now you've put these conditions on you having this baby now. Now you're like, well, I never thought that I would have a baby and be unmarried. So now you're thinking about marrying a person who stressed you to the point that you could have miscarried. So if the baby would have died, he would have been happy. I just
probably.
exactly. So it's like I see that there's a need for some additional therapy here.
Yeah, that's what I tried to. We kind of scheduled something with my pastor, like individually and together, but it just hasn't happened yet. It's been a year,
Um,
and I've been telling him, so I don't. I guess I'm gonna.
go. I'm sorry. Is your pastor a clinical therapist?
Uh, no, I don't know.
Yeah, so
No.
listen, if you're going, listen, especially if the person is your pastor, if you want to seek some relationship counsel from your pastor, that's one thing. But your psychological health, only use the best. Vet the people
Yeah.
that you're going to be opening yourself up to. Why is that baby awake at this time of the morning?
I'm in the West Coast.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
It's 9 o'clock.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so
Okay.
because you know what, it sounds like your pastor is already biased, and when you go get therapy, you want to go to a neutral party. You don't want to go to a party that has religious or moral or social inclinations that may bleed over into your therapy session. You need a clean, pure connection.
Right. And we did we did it. He came to my therapist twice,
You're
and
not
she didn't
listening to
have
me.
a good feeling about that, about him. She didn't have a good feeling about how I guess, how she felt like he handled the therapy. She felt like he was narcissistic.
A
This
therapist told you that the person, she diagnosed him as being having narcissistic personality disorder.
She just felt like some of his demeanor and responses came off as that of a person who's narcissistic.
Okay. How much more do you need? I mean, how much more do you need? If you want to force it, go ahead. Go to your pastor so that it's like people know where to get the advice that they want. If you want to go get the advice from your pastor that your pastor is giving, go ahead. I mean, a psychological professional has said that this man who emotionally abused you during your pregnancy, who claims that he loves you, but when you were pregnant with his child, was emotionally abusive to you. I can't do the work for you. I can't do it for you. It's like this is a self-love issue. And listen, I'm not against you being with whomever it is that you choose to be with. All I'm saying is get therapy for yourself, but you're making excuses for him. And it sounds like you really want to go and try to torture yourself because maybe you haven't been tortured enough and you want to go. Listen, this is the life that you are choosing. Go and do whatever it is that you choose to do. It's as simple as that. I cannot make the choice for you.
Right.
I mean,
Okay.
listen, like I said, self love issue. This right here.
That's. I mean, you're right. You're right, because this is the first relationship I've had since I went started going blind. When I was married, he and I were together before, so his level of respect for me was different. He saw me, in school and with full-time jobs and doing this and that. And so then when I met, my son's father, I was already at this point, where I couldn't do everything for myself like I used to. I really couldn't maneuver, or I wasn't like everything was just already different. So I of
So,
course I put myself on a lower level, like, okay, well, there's some things I'm gonna have to just deal with. But I do understand, like,
I mean,
that's why I said it's a year, because I'm not just gonna go back, or get back just based
question,
on words. Huh?
question. How were you able to call into this broadcast if you're blind?
Well, I'm completely blind in one eye, and then in my other eye, it started to come back after a while.
After you got
I
rid of
went
him?
complete. I went completely blind for a while, and then it started to come back in church, and so it's kind of like
What was it that made you go blind in the first place?
they diagnosed me with a disease called BKH, which caused bilateral retina detachment.
Okay, okay.
It
And
was
then
just
so
something.
your retina started getting reattached in one of your eyes?
No, it's still detached. They don't understand why I can see anything. It's a miracle, pretty much. That's what they tell me, because my
So,
retinas and nerve is still damaged to the point where I should not be able to see anything in the other one, and my
mhm.
retina is still detached.
So you have this
However, I
miracle
can.
baby, this miracle eyesight coming back, and you want to now bring this man back into your life, making decisions from lowered self-esteem? Do you think that that's a good place to make a decision from? That you're going to make the best decision because you feel like your worth on the market has gone down because you're blind in one eye? How that booty look though? Okay, I'm just joking. I'm joking. I mean, listen, I met this blind guy on the train, right? When I was out in California. They have like these trains that travel long distance. And so I was on this train and this blind guy was sitting next to me and I was talking to him and he got married after he was blind. I'm talking about walking stick, blind, all of that. Can't see nothing, right? And he married his wife. He said one of the good things about going blind was that looks now were not a determining factor, that he then decided to choose a person who smells good and feels good and treats him nice. But taking looks off of
Wow.
the table was actually a benefit for him. And he's in a marriage, in a relationship. He rides the train by himself and he has no sight whatsoever. And so what you think of yourself is going to determine what it is that you decide that you're going to put up with. A psychological professional has told you that this man exhibits behaviors of narcissistic personality disorder. Go and Google what dating or being married to a narcissist is like. Did you enjoy the time? How long were you with him, you say?
4 years, and I Googled it, and it was spot on. That is exactly who I was with.
And you feel comfortable enough in that union to try to marry this person?
Yes and no. That's why I don't know. It's a
Okay.
it's like no, because it's no for me because I left already because of all the situations. But then it's like with everyone telling me how, even it got so stupid to the point where my family from a different state flew into town to take me to a mental hospital because they thought I was crazy because of my decision to not want to be in a relationship. But they told me it was postpartum depression. And then the therapist, told me this and that. And even then, like, the therapist talking to me, was telling me, well, I see that you're better. I see your attitude is this, and you're in better spirits, and this and that. I don't understand why your family did that, and they were wrong. Like, they ambushed me. They came out like
Okay.
they were visiting, and they
Yes,
took
and
me
then
to
they
eat. And then
and then
after we went to eat, they
they took you.
took my son to a hotel room, and they told me that I was not going home.
Okay.
So it's that deep. They make it seem like I'm just nuts. So then I go back and I second guess. Am I nuts? Like,
What is it
so
that you're looking for from this phone call?
I don't know. Just somebody outside to just hear. And I just told you surface, very, very surface. Just
In
someone
terms
outside to
of
say,
surface, in terms
whatever
of his treatment
whatever
of
you hear.
you.
Yeah, surface in terms of all of it.
So it's worse. The way that he has treated you is worse than what you've told us.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what is it that you've heard me say?
You've heard me say that I pretty much made the right decision. And if I go back, it's just gonna be torture, and I'm gonna regret it. And
Okay. So you said that you
I
were calling for an
probably need to
outside point of
heal.
view. You said
Yeah.
you were calling for an outside. You got an outside point of view. Tell me, what is it that you feel that you have not gotten that still has you confused? You said you called for an outside point of view. You got an outside point of view, but you still have confusion. So what is it that you are missing? What more do you need from the phone call that you feel that you're not getting?
I don't know.
What do you
I
want me? You
really
want me
have
to
no
try to
clue.
curse
I
you
don't.
out? You want me to curse him out? You want
No.
me to curse the therapist
No.
out? What is it that you feel that you're not
No.
getting? So it's not
I
the
mean,
curse out.
that's why I said I have no clue. I feel like I got enough. Then it's like when I hang up, I'm still gonna have everybody telling me how crazy I am. So it's like, what did I got? I gotta like run away from everybody, and then what am I gonna do? Because I have to depend on people. So it's like a stupid.
Maybe
It's a
you need
dumb.
to
It's a
start cursing
dumb
people out
situation.
then. I don't know what else to say. Because if people are
Yeah,
not respecting your boundaries and your decision, because they're not the ones who are going to have intercourse with him, they're not the ones that are going to have those insults wielded at them. They're not the ones who has to feel his energy, because especially if you are sight impaired, we know that you feel energy strong. So they're not the ones who has to come
strong.
into contact with his energy. They're not the ones that have to let him inside your body. They're not the ones that have to raise a son with him. Maybe it is that they don't want to help anymore, and they want somebody to come take you off their hands. So they're like, girl, you better get with him because I don't want to help you. Who knows? But you have to make the decision for yourself. You got to figure out what's right for you. Because at the end of the day, look, if you have a problem for which money can solve, and you have the money, then you don't have a problem. And if they don't want to help you and you got the money to get some help or some insurance or something to get help another way, then you just got to do what you got to do. But being in a toxic relationship so that your son could learn to be a narcissist too, and then go out there abusing some woman, come on. I don't know what else to say. I have said everything that I can without telling you what to do. And
Right,
I don't tell people what to do in their relationships, because the decision ultimately has to be yours.
right, right. You're right. I just wanted to hear from someone outside that's not hounding me and asking me why I'm doing what I'm doing. Like, there's very few in my family that are like, I get it, I see it, I've been saying, I've been thinking it, but I didn't say it. And then I do have one cousin that's actually moving here in on this week to be like, I'm coming to help you. We've been, and I'm like, okay, like, hey, I'm down. But then, it's like I don't know. I think 100%. I'll say it's probably my grandma. That's probably the biggest factor in all of it, because she's 80 something, and she's like, I want to make your wedding dress, and I want Jaden to see y'all married, and I want this and that, and I'm
So
just
maybe
like, oh my gosh, like,
listen, maybe she could get married then, and he can go to a wedding if she get married. I don't know what else to say, because she not gonna feel the displeasure from the penis that's entering into you. So she ain't gonna be the one that's eventually gonna get boxed upside her head because of a wedding dress that she wanted to see. So you got to set your boundaries and have people respect your boundaries. It's as simple as that. But you have
yeah,
to love yourself enough, one eye and all. You got to love yourself enough to know that you deserve to be happy. And if making that decision is not going to make you happy, look, I'm not going to talk until I'm blue in the face over here about what you need to do for your life, because at the end of the day, the pain you feel, I'm going to be sleeping good in my bed at night. So look, I got the
right,
life that I want. I am living the life that I want, because I made the decisions to live the life that I want. So while you over there crying, curled up in a ball and feeling all this stuff, I'm gonna be sleeping with visions of sugar plums dancing in my head. So you got to you have to live the life that you want, because other people are making the decisions that are right for them. So if you're not, you got
right,
to do what you need to do for you.
yeah, okay, yeah, all right,
It's like for some reason, I think that people think if they suffer long enough and hard enough that other people will feel their pain. They won't. They
yeah, and
won't.
I know I haven't told anyone any of anything. I haven't even told them the part about the pregnancy and the whole like 8 month thing and all that. I have never. And that's probably the problem, because I put it out there like everything was always cool and okay, and and all they see is the good things, and no one knows about anything else, because I don't display that side, just because probably my own pride, probably because like, it's like I look at all the, and I try to have conversations, but then I have to be um phony with them, because I don't want to say everything, and I have tried to ask, and then but I look at every woman in my family, and none of them are married at this point. None of them are happy. Some of them are even crazy behind a man, like to the point of no return. And this is why I decided to leave at that point, because I started getting in myself to the point where it's like I'm crying every day. I'm thinking about it all day.
Didn't I
I
say
was
it?
upset,
Curled up in
so
a ball.
that's why.
All right. Listen,
Yeah.
go find yourself therapy. Go get a support group. Blind people support group, or people who've gone blind later in life. Find yourself a support group. Find it recovering from narcissistic relationship support group. There's groups on Facebook. There's groups. Call up these Call up the domestic abuse hotline. You don't have to suffer from domestic abuse. Even the suicide prevention
Mhm.
hotline, they are great for resources. You don't have to call them when you're on the edge. You could just call them to get recommendations for therapists in your area. They have so many resources. During the pandemic, I've had to call the suicide prevention hotline with many of people who have called me and were suffering during the pandemic, depressed and feeling sad and just needing resources. But the change is difficult. But
Yeah.
you have to make the choice that's right for you. Because listen, like I said, I made the choices that were right for me, and I am enjoying the life that I'm living. And when I go to sleep, the AC is blowing or the fan is blowing. I have my comforter on me, and I have peace and quiet, and I drift off into sleep like the delicious, like when on a hot day when you get that quenching water. I go into
Mhm.
sleep like I drift into slumber like the delicious quench of water on a warm day. That's how I go to sleep. And I feel good when I wake up. I don't even have an alarm clock. I just come into the morning awake and alive, feeling good because I've made the choices. I've made hard choices to live the life that I'm living right now. I lived in my car for a year to be able to follow my dream. I made hard choices. Like some of the choices that people are talking about on the phone, I've had to make some of those choices myself. I wanted to be I was going to marry a person and have his child because he was Caribbean and I wanted to hold on to my Caribbean roots. And when I thought about what my life and that child life would look like and how I would torture myself and be stuck to this person forever, I made the decision that I was not going to go forward with that relationship, and I decided that what was best for me. And now I don't have no nigga laying up in my bed farting and carrying on and not coming home, and I'm over here hair falling out talking about where are you ain't come home, going through people's phone, wondering when he's gonna do
Right.
stuff for the baby and
Oh.
all of this. I didn't have I don't have those issues. My bed is free and
Right.
clear. I have space on the side. I live how I want to live. And you have to decide whether or not your life is good enough for you to live how you want to live, because at the end of the doggone day, this life that
Right.
you have is yours. If you want to live a good one, or if you want to be broken down, curled up in a ball, hair falling out so that you have one eye, patches of hair, no edges, heart palpitation, thyroid issues, come on. It can get a whole
Right.
lot worse. Wrinkles all
Yeah.
over your face, butt flattened out. Now you got hammer toes, teeth falling out. Now you got jaundice. Come on, it's too much.
Right. You're right. Okay. I mean, I just needed to hear. I wanted to just hear somebody else. Mm.
Listen, there's nothing wrong with passing gas. But if you have a person that you don't want to be with laying next to you, farting, that's one of the worst feelings ever. Listen, I listen. I know what it's like for the air going in and out of someone's nostril as they breathe to annoy you
Mm.
to your core. I know what that's
Yeah.
like. I know what it's like to hear a person chew and start imagining bashing them over the head. I know what that's like. I know what it's like to want to come home. I know what that's like. I know what it's like to be driving and be like, you know what? I'm going to throw this all to the damn wind and just keep on rolling. I ain't going back.
Mm.
I know what that's like. I know what that's like to live in a life that doesn't fit, that doesn't feel like your life. I know what it's like to wake up each day. Listen, let me tell you something. I know what it's like. to go to sleep and pray not to wake up. I know what that's
Right.
like. So I have had to make hard decisions to be able to live a life that I'm comfortable with. Because when I found myself praying not to wake up, I knew that I had
Yeah.
to make a change. So I know what it's like to not want to live in a certain life, to feel trapped. I know what feeling trapped feels like. I know what it feels like when everybody else thinks that somebody is a great person. And you know that this is just not, no matter how great they think they are, you know that you just don't want that. I know what that's like. I know what it's like. I know what it's like to have all the reasons in the world why you should love a person, but yet you still don't. And people try to guilt you into being with a person. Oh, you're getting old. You know, they say 25 is top shelf now. Who's gonna want you? This, I know what it's like.
Yeah.
I know what it's like. So I know what it's like to choose me. I know what it's like. Oh God, Cece done said, hoping another woman takes him off your hands. Child, listen. I know what it's like to live a life that doesn't feel like yours and reclaiming your
Yeah.
life. So you got to do what's right for you, because when it was time for me to make my decisions, I made my hard decisions. So you got to make your hard decisions to live the life that you want. It's as simple as that. I can't make it for you, and I'm not going to be up here advising you so that you turn around and be like, well, Tanya said, now let... No, you make your own decisions that's right for you, because you're going to have to live in that life, not me. Like I said, I go to sleep with the feeling of the cool fan blowing over me, with a nice warm comforter wrapped around me, with visions of lollipops dancing through my head. I wake up thinking about what wonderful foods I'm going to eat, or wonderful what I'm going to do for the day. I wake up looking forward to the day instead of wishing that I don't wake up.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. I just wanted to hear from someone else. I just needed to make sure, because I hear so much that I'm doing wrong and I'm doing this. So I just needed to hear, even though like it was like the therapist graduated me out, and I was like, no, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not ready. But
Listen, the therapist doesn't, you don't work for the therapist works for you. I have a life coach. I use my life coach to help me do the things that I need to do. You need to think about your therapist as your tool. The therapist works for you. The therapist and you need to come up with a plan on how to get you where you need to be. But remember, you said that you went to the therapist as a result of being on a mandatory psychiatric hold because of your family. So that wasn't really a therapist that was there for you. So you need to find your own therapist.
yeah.
I'm going to let you off of the line because we've been on for 31 minutes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much for answering.
Thank you so much. And what was your name again?
Tiffany?
All right, Tiffany, thank you so much for calling in. All right, so, whew, child, listen, we've been on for 1 hour and 43 minutes. So I might as well open back up the phone lines and take one more phone call so that we end on a different note. We have Kelly sent in $5 and says, please take us out with a dance, please. I need that NRG. I know that's right. So you're on the air live with Tanya. What's your name?
Hi, Tanya. This is Key.
Hi, Key. So talk to us.
Hi.
This is the phone call that's taking us out for the night. So what is your comment?
I'm just so grateful to you for everything that you have been expressing tonight. I think you're very powerful.
Thank you.
Yeah, so that's my comment. And secondly, I don't know if you're ready to head to bed or... Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. Listen, I'm not going to force anything on you that you don't want. You have me on the line and you already sound like you're ready to let me off when you already have the opportunity to have been the last person to call in. So if you want to squander your opportunity, I'm going to allow
Oh,
you
I do
to.
not.
Oh,
Tanya, I
okay.
need help. I need
Oh,
help. Um, I am trying to get over this person who, who is just not responding to me um, after we had an encounter together.
a sexual encounter. So now he's ghosted you.
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, listen, we're adults. You're going to have to talk and speak. So you had, how long did you know him before you had the sexual encounter?
Um, 3 weeks.
Okay, was the encounter good?
It was good, yeah.
Okay, what is it that you're feeling? What's the feeling that you're having? You said he's not responding to you. What is the feeling that you're having?
I feel as though I could have had something good with this person, but I missed my opportunity because, according to him, I was erratic.
Okay, erratic in what way?
Well, afterwards, I wanted to speak with him about what happened. We spoke a couple of times, but I just wanted more reassurance. So then I would call him, and then he just stopped responding. Yeah.
How old are you? How old is he? And where'd you meet him?
Um, I am 32.
Mm-hmm.
He is 39,
Mm-hmm.
and we met through a mutual family friend.
Okay. You're 32, he's 39, and you met through a mutual family friend. You knew him for 3 weeks. You two had intercourse. You started feeling self-conscious about having the intercourse, and you were calling him for reassurance, and you continued to call him and hound him and harass him. And then he said that you were acting erratic, and then he decided to just stop responding to you altogether. Is that
Yes,
correct?
yes, that's accurate.
Okay, so listen, there's a lot of sexual hangups
Mhm,
that women
mhm.
are programmed to have,
Yes.
which makes them behave in ways that makes them feel guilty, shame, and all of these other
Mhm.
things that make us behave in ways that we wouldn't have behaved had we not had these
Mm,
these sexual hangups. Give me 1 second.
yeah. Sorry.
I remember when I was younger,
Mm,
right? There was this guy
mhm.
who I really, 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 I enjoyed him. I enjoyed talking to him. I enjoyed getting his attention. I enjoyed all of that,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Yeah.
And we hung out and he decided that he wanted to be intimate, right?
Mm,
And we had just really kind of we talked a lot over the phone, but we didn't live in the same city. So like when
mhm.
he came into the same city as he wanted to be intimate and I wasn't really down with being intimate. And
Mm,
it just got to the point that I was like, okay, well, I might as well participate. I was feeling kind of frisky anyway, right? So I participated.
yeah. Mm,
And we didn't have intercourse, but
mhm.
I um I decided to show him not sure how to put it, but I decided to I decided
Mm,
to I can't think of the right verbiage that won't, bring up flags on YouTube, but
I see.
so I decided to, that song "I'll Take You There." So I decided to worship at the altar, right?
Mm, 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 mm.
And was an amazing experience, which was a blast, so to speak, if you could
You
read
had a
between the lines.
revelation?
No, I didn't have a revelation. He did, though. He did, right? And apparently it was very profound nonetheless, right?
Wow.
But for some reason, I started feeling self-conscious afterwards. I was like, "Oh my gosh, it was our first meeting. Why did I do that? Oh, he's going to think that
Yeah.
he has control over me now. Oh, I need to jockey for control. I need to ignore his calls. I need to." So then cuz he was flying out, right? And he contacted me, and I was like, I don't know, some young people stuff. Fuck you, or some stupid shit. How dare you? Or some dumb young shit. I don't know. I don't even remember, but this dude, he was a dude whose father died young, and his mother ended up raising him. So he's a really sensitive dude. He wasn't like,
Wow.
like
Wow.
the typical dude,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And he was stunned by my behavior. He was like, "Wow, I thought we had a really good time."
Mm.
He was like, "I thought we had a really good time, but I wasn't mature
Mm.
enough. I wasn't mature enough to be like, and to enjoy a time for what it is and not feel like I've been used." You know what I mean?
Wow. That's
So,
that's how I feel. Yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
so I destroyed that friendship, right? I destroyed it
Wow.
by acting crazy, right? And behaving in a manner that did not was not in line with the actions of our relationship, our interaction, right? And
Yeah.
so I decided to listen to, I had like all of these different people in my head, all of the people that are like, oh, having intercourse on the first meeting is bad. Oh, this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
All of that. And I had all of these people in my head, and I decided to try to jockey for control, right? And like I said, I was acting
Mm.
stupid. I don't even know what was the why I had to. I don't know why I had to behave that way. But the thing is that when you're young and you're trying to figure out who it is that you're going to be, and you have these interactions with people, and you don't really know how to be the person that you are choosing to be, because you haven't really figured out who that is yet, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so we never rekindled a romantic relationship, one in which there was trust and all that other stuff. We never rekindled
Mm.
that, right? But what that situation did do for me was it helped me realize that there were things that I needed to work on within myself. That situation was a wash, right?
Wow. Yeah.
That situation
Yeah.
was a wash. So
Yeah.
I had to do work on myself and figure out why I had these hangups about sex. What was it that was really going on inside of me? Why? So that situation was an eye opener for me, so that I had to realize that you really can't be the right person for different types of people. Like, some men want to be abused, some men want to be cursed out. This particular man did not want to be cursed out, and I'm glad that he didn't, because that would have been toxic. And
Yeah.
him cutting me off was a clear indicator that I needed to do some work. We
Wow.
did end
Wow.
up becoming associates, right? And he
Mm.
actually went, this person who cut me off from, from romantic whatever, right?
Yeah.
Listen, we never were able to get back on a good romantic foot. However, this man has played a significant role at different junctures of my life, because he was just a solid person. Like, he was just a good
Wow.
person. Like he was cool people's, right? So this is why
Yeah.
he wasn't down with all that cuss out stuff, right? Some people are down with it,
Yeah.
some people are not, but those relationships are toxic. And the thing about it is, what is meant for you is for you, right? There's some situations that come into your life that are there as teachable moments for you to
Wow.
realize that there is some divots that exist on the inside, so that you can take a hard look at your behavior and see what fueled that behavior. My life is
Wow.
different than other people's lives. Your life is different than mine. And so you have to make the decisions that are right for you. And what I decided was I would rather get played. I would rather get played being 100% authentic to who it is that I am. Because at the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, if I am true to myself and a person decides to play me while I am being true to myself, then that is that person's loss, because they didn't deserve me anyway, right? But I realized the risk of posturing and pretending as if a certain set of behaviors are like, I didn't want to curse him out. I had a good time, actually. You know,
Yeah.
his member was, this is why I decided to just jump down and worship at the altar,
Oh.
because his
Oh.
member was, when he pulled that out and I saw that thing, I said, no,
Oh,
this needs
Tanya.
to be
Oh,
worshiped,
Tanya.
right? But I had a good
Oh my
time.
goodness.
But I let all of this stuff get inside of my head, and where I
Yeah.
wanted to, because I wanted to be like, wow, I wanted to be like, I had a really good time. That was so dope. You're so hot. I can't wait till we meet up again. But
Yes,
I
and
acted,
do it again.
yes, but I acted like a buffoon. And that
Yeah.
buffoonery was a lesson that I could never take back. I could never take back.
Mm. Mm. Hello?
Yeah, just
Yeah.
reminiscing.
You're It was that good. Oh my goodness.
You know what? It was just,
Wow.
you know how, okay, so first of all, part of the reason that you're having intercourse or participating in these activities early is because there's a connection. You know, there's a
Yeah.
connection. There's a connection between you, there's a connection between him. And sometimes from some interactions, all you get is that exchange, that energy exchange, that coitus. That's sometimes all you get. And you have to be,
Yeah.
when you're having early coitus, you have to be okay with that being it. You have to be okay with
Mm.
knowing that your worth is not tied to other people's expectations. You have to be okay with being okay. You sometimes you
Yeah.
got to be okay with, you know, having a whole day. I'm sorry. Sometimes you got to be okay with that.
It
Just
was a whole day and I wanted seconds and I've been cut off from, all of that. And the more I try to like make things right, the crazier I look. So
of
it's just
course. Of course.
harder to just sit
Hey,
in this mistake.
listen.
Hello?
Yeah, some dick will drive you crazy, girl. Get right into your
Can't
brain,
believe
just
you.
drive you crazy. You know, but
Oh my goodness.
you have to get to the inside of what your triggers are, what's stopping you from being
Mm.
your true authentic self. You have to do your healing, because you can't get to the next level without confronting, the things that you need to change. It's like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
so you all have seen my background in my studio. Um you've seen my background grow and develop and flesh out. You've seen my broadcast flesh out over these
Mhm.
past few months. But that took realizing that there could be some improvement. Like, I wouldn't have this new setup and the new background with the flowers and the lights and all of this other stuff, because as you
Mm.
see, as the months have gone by, first I had the tufted background, then I got the flowers, then I made the stands that they were on white, and then I got some fur to put on them, then I got the curtains. And there was a friend of mine that just kept telling me to just continue to do this and do that, and then I have the backlight behind me, and then all of this different stuff. But it took having to realize that things can get better. So, my
Wow.
dear, if you don't realize that your life can get better, and if you're not willing to take the chance on yourself, then how will it get better?
You're right. You're absolutely right. You're Yeah, you're absolutely, yeah, this is exactly it. I just have to accept that, this thing has ended, and the lesson was, girl, you need to fix your issues, because I have some bats and snakes in my closet that I need to
Yeah.
fix.
And it's
Yeah.
okay. We all do. The woman that
Yeah.
you see here today is a much different woman than I was in my 20s. My mother
Wow.
died when I was 19, and I didn't have any guidance for dating. I really didn't know what I was doing. So I just had to try
Yeah.
different things, and I realized cursing the wrong man out doesn't lead to him liking you. Like, some men like to get
Yeah.
cursed out, and some men like to be ignored and all this other stuff. This guy was different, and I realized I wasn't being myself. So figure out who
Yeah.
you are, okay? And then become that woman.
Okay, Tanya, I will. And I will keep listening to you, and I will finally get your book. Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. Tell us your name one more time. Siana.
It's P. P.
Oh, P. Okay. Thank you, P.
Mhm.
All
Thank you,
right.
Tanya.
Thank you.
Yay. Bye.
All right. All right. So the phone lines are open. Let me check the apples and make sure that no apples have come in since the last time I checked. Let me look on my other phone, because sometimes the other one doesn't update. Okay, so it looks like we are up to date. All right. So listen. Oh, where do we go? Where do we go? Here we go. Oh, I don't have the energy. I don't have the energy. I don't have the energy. Hold on. Let me try a different one. Okay. All right. Okay, I could always go for some. Okay. Hey. All right. Hold on, I'm trying to find my thing. Here it is. Hey, this is not the right thing. All right, there we go. Okay, listen, everybody. Hey, happy birthday, Chanel. Listen, everybody, throw up your party hats for Chanel. Hey, come on, Chanel. Come on, dance with your girl. Come on. Come on. Come on, Shawnee. Hey, one more again. Here we go. All right, I appreciate all of you for coming out. Come on. Hey! Hey! I appreciate each of you coming out and spending this time with me. I think we had hey! 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 You know what? I appreciate each and every one of you for coming out and participating in the broadcast today. Thank you all so very much. Happy birthday to all of the people. It is still Cancer season. So I appreciate all of you. Thank you all so much for coming out, for calling. I think that each one of the phone calls that we got today was very important. I think that it was meant for each call to come through. So if you didn't get through, that is fine. There will be other opportunities. I say, dig down deep. Dig down deep into your conscious, meditate, think on it, and spend your time finding that answer within, because you know what it is that you need to do. All right? So on that note, I will see you all in the next video. I appreciate all of the apples. Make sure that you join the text notification squad and support the channel. The text notification squad, it is a way for you to get a text message each time I go live. That helps you because you're always able to know when I have a video up, as well as the direct link to get to it. And not only that, you're able to support the channel because when I go live, that means that more people get the notification and I'm not dependent on these platforms. Like right now on Facebook, there's 112 people on Facebook. However, on YouTube, there's 562 people. On our broadcast earlier, we had 1,000 people on there. So not being dependent on the platforms to bring traffic and knowing that we know how to get in touch with each other independent of the platform is very important. The, what? Somebody is writing some inappropriate comments. Listen, whatever issue that you have with what it is that I've said in my broadcast, if there's something that you didn't get, spend some time reflecting inside yourself to figure out why it troubles you so. You know what I mean? Because somebody talking about some sleep apnea. I didn't know, wasn't nobody on here talking about no sleep apnea. We were giving examples of very real situations that needed to be spoken about not being able to stand a person who is there in the same room with you. So nonetheless, as we were saying before that, right? I appreciate each of you coming out. Spend some time meditating within yourself to figure out what the answer is that you need, because the answer is inside of you. And it is as simple as that. Joining a text notification squad helps you and I stay in touch independent of these platforms. All right? Because like I have 182,000 people on YouTube. I have about 500 people on the text notification squad. Those are 500 people that we know how to get in touch with one another if we ever need to, like without having to be dependent on Facebook or YouTube or any of these other platforms. So listen, thank you all so much. Thank you for being a part of the tarot. I'm going to listen to that and see what that was all about. Very, 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 very interesting development. So I'll see you all later. Thank you all, and I ain't going nowhere, 'cause you're the black man I wish. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just joking. I will see you all in the next video. Tanya TKO, and I'm out. Make sure that you click around here for for other videos to watch, and down here to subscribe to the channel. I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.